You wake up, recite your affirmations, and stare into the mirror waiting for a change that never arrives. The routine begins to feel like shouting into a void. You follow the manifestation guides, but your daily reality, the job, the stress, the exhaustion, remains exactly the same. The subconscious mind prioritizes internal states over spoken requests. While you might use words to ask for success, your body often continues to broadcast the frequency of fear or lack. It is this deeper vibration that the brain uses to navigate the world. Over 5,000 years ago, Eastern practitioners identified this specific disconnect. They developed a 21-day protocol designed to bypass the analytical defenses of the conscious mind and address the subconscious directly. The core of this system is a 3:40 a.m. wake-up time. Modern chronobiology shows that at this specific hour, human neurobiology enters a state that is distinct from any other period of the day. This practice functions as a neurobiological override. It uses the body's own chemical rhythms to access the parts of the mind that typically remain closed during the noise of the daylight hours. Ancient Vedic texts refer to this pre-dawn window as the Brahma Muhurta. They describe it as a period of sattva, a time when the mental static of the world has not yet begun and the mind is naturally settled. Historically, yogis and practitioners have utilized this window for deep internal focus. They recognized that the absolute stillness before sunrise provided a unique environment for psychological work. When we map the 24-hour circadian rhythm, we see the body's chemistry shifting. At 3:40 a.m., melatonin reaches a high point, dampening the brain's analytical filters. This shift centers on the pineal gland, an endocrine structure regulating our sleep-wake cycles. The location and function of the pineal gland correspond to the descriptions of Shiva's third eye found in Hindu texts. It serves as the biological site for the expanded perception the mystics described. Choosing this hour allows a person to work within the body's existing neurochemical window, rather than struggling against the mental resistance of a fully awake ego. Waking up is only the first step. The Upanishads state a profound truth. Yata pinde, tata brahmande. As within, so without. If the internal state is dominated by suppressed conflict, the external life often reflects that disorder. Psychiatrist Carl Jung modernized this concept through his work on the shadow. The shadow consists of the parts of the self that have been suppressed, old traumas, childhood wounds, or feelings of inadequacy that remain active in the subconscious mind. This creates an internal conflict. You may consciously work toward a goal, but if the shadow is broadcasting a deep-seated belief that you are unworthy, that subconscious noise disrupts your efforts. The brain uses these internal beliefs to filter the information we notice in the world. We effectively perceive a reality that confirms our deepest subconscious expectations, overlooking opportunities that don't fit our internal narrative. Confronting these patterns during the day is difficult because of the constant sensory input of your work, of social media, and daily responsibilities. To begin this process, the nervous system requires time to adjust. The concept of nadi purification suggests pulling your wake-up time back in increments over 7 days to safely avoid triggering a stress response. By removing the external noise of the daylight hours, you create a space where the shadow can be identified and addressed without the usual distractions. At 3:40 a.m., the ego's defenses are at their lowest. You are in the silence the mystics sought, supported by your body's natural chemistry. In this state, you can look at suppressed fears without the usual impulse to run. You acknowledge these feelings as parts of your history that no longer need to remain hidden. Once the fear is acknowledged, the language of the mind changes. Instead of asking for what you lack, you move into a state of gratitude, speaking of your goals as if they are already being realized. This 21-day experiment is a process of shifting your schedule and using that early silence to face internal barriers. It is a commitment to seeing yourself as you are, rather than as your fears suggest. This approach treats the external world as a reflection of your internal neurobiology. When the internal frequency shifts through this work, the way you perceive and interact with the world changes with it.